Other than bad phrasing, why was Maestro Florestan so upset with the timpanist?
His C is clearly not in tune. I cannot have the symphony end in such dramatic failure.
Our poor timpanist has no idea how to fix this problem. Fortunately, that's what we're covering today on What's clearing, you ask? Well, a while back percussionists needed to make a distinction between tuning with a pedal and tuning the drum head. When we talk about clearing timpani, we are talking about tuning the drum head so that each lug is in tune with the others, allowing the drum to produce a clear, sustained pitch. Just like any other instrument, timpani need to be cleared on a regular basis, or they sound like, well, this. Maybe you can't clear them every day, as professional timpanists do, but if you can devote a little time each week checking and adjusting the drums, it will make all the difference in the world on the sound produced. Items you will need for clearing your timpani include a timpani key, which is specific to your brand of timpani, a hard timpani mallet, and a wallet, which we'll use to dampen the overtones when we get into the clearing process. You may also need to purchase a device called a drum dial, which can be purchased through most percussion and music instrument websites. This device will tell you how much tension is at each lug point. However, your ears are a much better judge of whether the lugs are in tune, so rely on those first. Last but not least, you will need quiet space and patience. You'll be listening in an extremely focused way, and after about 10 minutes or so, you may not be able to make any distinctions between pitches. Taking a break every 10 to 15 minutes ensures that your ears will remain sharp. The first thing that you'll need to do is tune the drum so that it is at a pitch in the upper middle part of the range. A pitch in this part of the drum will allow you to hear greater discrepancies than a really tight head, and you'll also probably hear the pitch a lot better than if the drum head was really loose. Depending on your drum, I would place an F on the 32-inch drum, an A on the 29-inch, a D on the 26-inch, and an F on the 23-inch. You'll want to get your ear to drum level to hear the pitches really well. I recommend either placing your timpani on a platform that is at ear level or sitting or squatting next to the drum. There's one other thing we need to cover before clearing the timpani heads. Timpani heads can be separated into two channels. Lugs directly in line with the beating spot are in the primary channel, and the lugs perpendicular to the beating spot are in the secondary channel. The primary channel will have more influence on the fundamental pitch of the drum, whereas the secondary channel will have influence on the pitch after the initial strike, especially with loud playing. Upon striking it, if you hear the timpani do this, then the problem probably lies in the primary channel. Likewise, if you hear the pitch do this, where it's falling afterwards after that initial strike, then the problem is most likely in the secondary channels. The first thing to do is place your drum into the middle of its range. So on this 29-inch drum, I'm going to be placing an A. Okay, the next step is then to play 3 times soft followed by 1 time loud. The soft playing will give you your fundamental pitch and act as your control, whereas the loud stroke should tell you what's happening, whether a lug is flat or sharp in either the primary or the secondary channel. Most important, you need to ignore all of the other overtones and focus on the fundamental pitch that's being produced only. So 3 times soft. So I'm listening for. I'll try that again. I'm definitely hearing the pitch flatten immediately, followed by sustaining the initial pitch. And what that tells me is that it's most likely a lug in the primary channel that's out of tune. I will place a wallet in the center of the head, which will help in the muffling of unnecessary overtones. I will then strike the head near the 4 lug points in the primary channel and listen to the fundamental pitch that's being produced. Try that again. I'm definitely hearing this outer lug being the one that's very flat. So what I'm going to do is use my timpani key and in quarter turns, no big motions, tune it up so that it's the same pitch as the other lug points in the primary channel. Let's do it again. Hopefully you can hear that it's still a little bit flat, so I'm going to use another quarter turn. One other important thing is to check the lug that is directly across from this lug. Anything I do to this lug will most directly impact the lug that's across from it, so make sure that they are always staying in tune with one another. This is still flat. After I think I have the primary channel about as well in tune as I'm going to get, I'm going to remove the wallet and retune the drum to an A, and this is to take out any of the slack or unevenness that may have resulted from the clearing. I will then strike the drum again, 3 times soft, 1 time loud as before. You'll want to repeat this procedure until you hear a clear fundamental tone, followed by a resonance that remains stable.